extend the main across the frontage. And the reason for that extension is for the next piece of property to be able to develop and extend his main. That's the leapfrog development process. In this case, this lot, I don't show the topography here, but very steep. Runland Road is known for a very slide issue. There's a lot of slides in that area. So trying to extend the line north is not a very smart thing to do. And it really does not need an 8-inch water line for standard service. So we ran a hydraulic model. We took a look at his options, and basically it comes down to he could extend off of Outlook Road, the red line, a 2 or 2.5 inch, I have to confirm that yet, about 600 feet to the front of his property, not extending across. He feels that that's affordable to him. It will provide his 2 proposed homes that he has adequate service for standard use of a house. What it does not provide is fire service. That is an issue that he has to work with the county fire marshal. They do have options, alternative ways, swimming pools, tanks, internal plumbing. They now have a methodology to do an internal sprinkler system off domestic water line versus a fire hydrant. So he wrote the letter. I requested he write a letter, give us make this request, and basically for him to receive service, affordable service in his mind, these exemptions would be required for him to be able to have service to his home. He does plan on doing a minor petition and building 2 homes on that lot, fairly on the south edge of the lot.
George, why isn't he hooking up to the corner of lot 15401 and just go across the street along the property line?
Because it's private property and that gentleman is not allowing him to get an easement across his property.
So he brings that problem to us then? Is that what it is?
No, he brings to us, I can't force an easement to a private property.
Right.
Okay? His option is to build an 8-inch water line all the way to his property and across, or this revised option of a reduced sized water line to serve his 2 homes. I say it's a solution, it's not a problem.
Are you attempting to convey at this time that if the fire occurs on his new homes that he builds there, that the fire department is not coming to the northeast corner of 15401 to hook up to the hydrant to put the fire out?
Well, since there's homes in there, they can't pull hose across somebody's property. Physically out in the field, that wouldn't happen. That's like going from one street to another street or somebody's backyard and anything. Now, in an extreme emergency and everything, do they knock down the fences and move cars and get in there to fight fires? Sure they do. In this case, that fire hydrant does not qualify for coverage of that property.
So basically, this man wants us to approve this small service line that will not enable the fire department to put the fires out at his new houses.
As a what? That is correct.
Okay.
I would like to expand on that just slightly, if I could. We're a water district, not a fire district. From the interpretations I've received in the past from legal, and not just recent legal, we're not required to provide fire service. We're a domestic water district. The owner of the property is responsible to go to the fire district, the county, and determine what is in his best interest of coverage. Now, if the fire marshal says, no, you have to have a hydrant there, he'll have to come back to us, build the water line, and put the hydrant in.
What do you think is the appropriate thing to do then, George? Wouldn't it be for this homeowner, this property owner, to take and reach an agreement with the fire department first, and then come back and tell us that if his house starts on fire, he's not going to be looking at the ratepayers because we only gave him a 2.5-inch line? Wouldn't that be better for him to get the force out in front of the cart?
He's working on that as we speak. He's also bought the property. I understand he closed on that. He came to us to see how to service. Many people come after they buy property He started the process long before. He's been talking to the fire district. He's been talking to the county. I believe he's been talking to the telephone company, the man. In fact, I do want to bring to your attention, he is outside the district, okay, right now. He is outside our service district. As a condition of this service, he has started the process for our rules of annexing into the district. So next month I will have, now that he is an owner of the property, I couldn't bring it to you until he was a property owner. I will prepare that paperwork, he's all got it filled out. We will come to the board and request that authorization to proceed with annexation into the district.
Commissioner Holloway.
Properties that are on the map to the right of the proposed red line,
To
are
the west,
the west, are they occupied? What about those people?
are we, just for clarification, is that like 15445?
No, I'm sorry, 17431 and 0.
17431 is not occupied, there's no home there. It isn't.
And the next one, up the same thing?
17310 is occupied and they have a service.
Okay,
Just
well,
down
I was
from it.
going up toward his
Okay,
line.
the 01,
Mhm.
there's no home there.
So, when these people need to, let me ask a question. People on the other side of the red line,
Yes,
where are they getting the water from
they
us?
will be able to get it off the line also. We did our hydraulic modeling, so we can get up to 6 homes off this 2.5 inch.
And the water service that's there right now is CRW, but this guy's not in our territory, is that correct?
He has no services. Lot 600?
No, lots 15406 down to.
Yes, they are all the ones south and to the west of there are.
They're also.
They're all in the district. He just happens to be just right
on the
there
edge.
at the edge.
And whose district is he in now?
Unincorporated, nobody's district.
Oh, so
There is no other
there are
water
blank
district.
spots out there, so
Well,
to speak.
Yes, well, it's not an island. There's area to the east of it, but it's not in the district.
Okay.
Commissioner Hutchinson.
I like to, for clients, I think we should look for ways to say yes, if possible. That said, I have some questions. I'm looking at all these other lots that currently don't appear to have service. At some point, if they were to come to us and ask for service, how do you anticipate providing service for those lots? And I would include a lot that was already mentioned, 17431. But also you have a whole series of lots to the left of this gentleman's lot, as well as some large lots and some other smaller ones to the right of that lot.
The large lots.
I guess what I'm saying is if we put a 2.5 inch line in for this gentleman,
Yes.
is there a negative impact on the future potential requirement of providing water service to the other lots? Or is there a way we would be able to do that appropriately without an exemption?
Currently, the homes that are on Sky Ranch are served off existing water lines there.
I understand.
The only lots that are not being served because there's no water line or in need at this time are the ones we've been speaking of along that. In fact, I'm not even sure that it's an access name. There's just a road, there's a county right of way. It's really an alley, okay? So this 2.5 inch will serve the homes that I'm speaking of. Now, the property to the far east, 0, that is at the far end,
defect number or whatever the number is. I do know that Mr. George has spent the last 2 days working with county council. We've spent the last week and a half working with the elections office. We have had, I believe, a total of 13 people who have contacted our office, and we have advised them that they are residents of CRW's service area and eligible to vote. One of the reasons that we're meeting with Oregon City on Monday is because they had asked to not talk to us until May of this year. And we've called them and told them that that's unacceptable. We're meeting with them on Monday, and our intent is hopefully to get them to come to the table. Our best information from reading the statutes is that it is correct. It is CRW's responsibility to advise when there are changes in our boundary. We're also advised that it is Oregon City's responsibility to process the applications of the annexations. We have said to Oregon City in the past, and we had intended to say to them again, that we would pay the administrative costs in order to get this issue resolved. What we were told, and really the complicator here is not a fault issue, it has to do with the fact that the Public Works Director for Oregon City resigned, Ms. Crushhour. She went to the city of Wilsonville. And the city manager asked us to hold off until such time as he had a new Public Works Director in place and a new engineering manager. As you can see in some of the materials that I have provided to the board, those positions have now been filled, which is the reason why I had put in a call to Mr. Frazier so that Mr. George and Ms. Reich and myself to go and sit down with his staff to move this issue along.
So this was my understanding that back in January or February of 2010, that list was put together for CRW and given to engineering. So to me, it does seem like it's very long in the tooth. Thank you.
Are you done with your management group?
There's a few extra items.
Okay.
The other part of the management report as requested is that the board had asked that we provide kind of a listing, and you'll see in the packet back behind attachment C, agenda item 11 is a list of the major legal activities that we've had legal counsel work on during the prior month. So I think the document speaks for itself. So with that, I conclude my report.
If I may, Chair, so there is one item that was somewhere down here.
That's on the management report.
That's correct. Item B6, Ogboni representation. The general manager has advised the board that Commissioner Sterling does not need defense counsel. And the reason he does not need defense counsel is because the claim was rejected flatly by Ogboni on the ground that there was never any basis for it. So I don't find it as humorous as Mr. Moore finds it. I find a year of having to respond for myself, having to pay legal fees to respond to a plan for a BOLI complaint that was made on October 13th, 2011, as an effort stated in that meeting to impose financial hardship and loss of reputation. And so that event, just like all the ones before, have come to nothing. They have all been dismissed, the litigation dismissed as an anti-SLAPP suit, strategic use of, strategic litigation to prevent public participation.
Mr. Chairman? Mr. Chairman?
Commissioner Sterling. Go ahead.
For an issue in public notification, and that the board become aware as well as the ratepayers. The following motion I put forth that the Clackamas County Board of Commissioners appoint Warren Mitchell to the Clackamas River Water Commissioner in position number 5. Have a second?
Second.
The vote subsequently will be called by myself. Commissioner Grafton L. Sterling votes yes. Commissioner Patricia Holloway votes.
Patricia Holloway votes yes.
Commissioner Lara Sola votes. Chooses not to vote. Further, basically, in summation for
Last
the,
time I, told us,
okay, Commissioner Larry Sola votes.
we have a motion made.
Point of order,
Would you,
I have a point of order, Mr.
Been seconded. Will you acknowledge that?
read the motion, please?
I move that the Clackamas County Board of Commissioners appoint Warren Mitchell to the Clackamas River Water Commissioner, position number 5.
Motion that another board appoint someone.
The Clackamas County Commission.
Clackamas River Water Commission.
Pardon?
Clackamas River Water Commission.
Mr. Chairman?
Motion made second, point of order.
The issue is not on the agenda, and it does, and I've heard no argument that constitutes an emergency, therefore the motion is out of order and should be ignored.
The issue remains that I do not agree or acknowledge Kenneth Hubbardston or Hugh Kalani as legitimately appointed commissioners. Their votes will not count. They cannot table the motion because they do not have legal authority to vote, as clearly demonstrated by the county commissioner's legal authority, as well as James Bernard. So, once again, I asked Larry Solo what his vote is.
I'll poll the commission.
I'm not asking for the commission's, I'm asking for yours and Commissioner Holloway's vote.
This is kindergarten?
We've already had a point of order that said the motion was out of order, and I agree with that.
Thank you.
We'll go on with commission business. Have we scheduled that March 4th session? Everybody's gonna get back to you and Carol
Yes.
and tell us when we can have it,
That's correct.
what time of day, whatever. Okay. Is there any commission assignment report?
I submit my report with my request for reimbursement, and I don't see it. Oh, maybe this is it. Yeah, okay. The board does have my report.
Okay.
I don't see where they cover it.
It's on the back of your reimbursement form.
Before we adjourn the meeting,
Oh, very good, thank you.
before we adjourn the meeting, we have additional time for public comment. Anybody from the public wishing to comment? Mr. Johnson.
So, Holloway and Granville Bank, taking this to court, that those two can't be mine, is that correct?
What did you say?
Correct. You do not recognize them.
Commissioner Holloway and Commissioner Sterling ways that the county commission appointed these two commissioners paid leave.
Okay,
And
so
the court has ruled that the Clackamas County Commission was correct. There's been no stay or anything on that court decision, and therefore it stands until
For just the sake of
Supreme Court rules.
fantasy land, and they were to say that you couldn't come back here, she would be gone in a week, and it'll be back to 2, right? And I really don't see you, Larry, as having a meeting out there in the hallway with your cell phone. I don't really see you and Sterling having a meeting out in the hallway, so I don't know what they would actually gain. So, I want to thank all of the people that went out to try and solve this problem, spent a lot of their time, effort, as ratepayers, and get down to the business like you were getting down to tonight. Your meetings are going to get cut shorter, because you won't have to listen to an extra no every time. And I want to thank you 3 for trying to do the right thing here for the ratepayers. And I want to just thank all the people that went out and spent their time campaigning on this deal.
Thank you for your comments.
And I'll save you a seat, right here.
I want to especially thank Chris Buten.
Anyone else wish to comment? Thank you.
Chair Soa, earlier this evening, Commissioner Holloway made a statement regarding how the petitions were split up and divided. I'm not sure exactly where she got those numbers from. I think she probably made some assumptions again, as a usual modus operandi for her. However, the statement that 5% was signed by employees and 92% by, or promoted by employees, and 92% promoted by paid collectors, and the other denominations of that process, doesn't say anything about the people who signed that petition. It's not a negative about the people who signed the petition. The over 4,500 people who signed both petitions.
Slow down, you're gonna have a heart attack, Cindy.
Tricia, you've been my heart attack. Please don't be so condescending. It does match, but it's not worthy of your intelligence.
Try to keep your comments to the chair, please.
Thank you, sir. I'm sorry. Those people signed that petition to bring this to a vote. That's going to be resolved on Tuesday. We may not know the final version of it until 10 days later, whatever the verifying is, but it's going to be resolved on Tuesday. The one thing I would ask all the commissioners is to start, please, acting with a little more appropriate behavior. Stop calling fellow commissioners by their last name.
This sounds
instead
just
of-
like with you at the BCC the
Excuse
other
me,
day.
sir, I have the floor.
Your 3 minutes are up.
And I didn't realize that you were not chair still, sir.
Go ahead, sir.
Thank you. And I would ask that the chair ask them to stop using the last names, call them by commissioner, or at least if they're going to use one name, to use their first names, so that it's not such an antagonistic place for the ratepayers to come and listen to. Y'all can hate each other off this spot if you want to, but you don't have to act like it's here. Thank you, sir.
Thank you for your comment. Anyone else? If not, the meeting is adjourned.